Growth isn't the constraint, alignment is. Scale doesn't break companies, it exposes the internal alignment issues that were never addressed. That's because activity isn't the same as execution, and execution isn't the same as alignment. What separates leaders who get results under pressure from those who create more work for less result is not ambition. It is alignment between strategic intent and how the company actually runs. Harvard Business Review has reported that more than 6 out of 10 strategies fail to deliver their intended outcomes. Most strategies do not fail on paper, they fail in the handoff between what leaders intend and what the company actually does day to day. This is the key reason growth feels heavier than it should. Scaling multiplies the misalignment already present in your priorities, metrics, and how decisions get made, not in the results you think work is buying. In volatile markets, leaders often assume the market is the constraint. Alignment is not harmony, it's the disciplined reconciliation of trade offs inside the company so that execution remains coherent as conditions change. External friction from markets, customers, and competition is unavoidable. Internal friction from priorities, incentives, and decision processes is inevitable. Some of that friction is healthy. It sharpens strategy and it forces clarity. The risk is friction that is not reconciled. When internal friction is unresolved, it amplifies external volatility. When it is reconciled, it sharpens focus and strengthens execution. External pressure is constant. Internal instability is what makes growth feel heavy. Growth magnifies whatever stability or instability already exists. When leadership teams assess alignment, they're often assessing agreement at the top. That matters, but it's not enough. In a cross company study, 82% of executives believed the organization was aligned on strategy. But when managers and employees were asked to define the strategy, only 23% described it the same way. That gap is where internal friction builds. This misalignment is not just a communication issue, it's a performance issue. Alignment is not an abstract management concept. It is the organizational muscle that connects strategic intent, what you're trying to achieve and why, capacity across people, processes, and systems, and the work behaviors that need to happen when pressure rises. When external pressure rises, internal friction shows up fast if those three are not moving together. Execution feels heavier than it should. Alignment happens when decisions do not get reopened, trade offs stay settled, and teams move without renegotiating priorities every week. Leaders recover time because coordination and rework drop. In practice, leaders respond to slowing performance by adding more initiatives, more meetings, more plans. They increase activity. Yet research on strategy implementation shows that more activity rarely accelerates performance because it does not resolve the alignment between strategic intent and daily execution. Decades of research from Bain, McKinsey, and Harvard Business Review estimate that 70 to as much as 90% of strategic initiatives fail not because the strategy was flawed, but because it breaks down between boardroom intent and day to day execution. This isn't about capability. Most teams are capable. It isn't about effort. Most organizations are working hard. It's about whether execution holds when conditions tighten. Leaders expect shifting markets, changing customers, and competitive pressure. What leaders underestimate is internal friction, conflicting goals, unclear processes, competing metrics, and blurred ownership. Strategy adapts to external friction, but execution can only absorb so much internal friction. When it goes unmanaged, friction builds, decisions slow, and workloads rise faster than results. If misalignment is what makes growth feel heavy, then looking only at results will not reveal the cause. The real signal is how decisions are made across teams and whether those decisions reinforce the same priorities. Playbooks built for stable growth and predictable markets no longer hold under pressure. When leaders try to assess alignment, they often start by asking whether people understand the strategy and whether priorities are clearly communicated. But those questions alone are not enough. The gaps that erode performance under pressure are deeper and structural. The first one is perception versus reality of alignment. Leaders may agree on strategy at the top, but alignment is proven in how decisions are made throughout the organization. When decision making does not consistently reinforce the same priorities, alignment is assumed rather than real. The second gap is strategy to execution breakdown. A strategic plan is not a performance system. A plan without the conditions and mechanisms that carry it into daily work is a gap, not a guide. Performance is created in the conditions that allow execution to hold under pressure. The third gap is competing priorities. Sales drive revenue. Product protects roadmap integrity. Operations defend margin. Each priority is rational, but without explicit trade offs, they compete instead of align. Healthy frictions sharpens focus. Unmanaged friction creates drift. The fourth gap is trade off avoidance. Strategy is as much about what not to pursue as what to pursue. When trade offs are not made explicit, teams default to doing everything. Under pressure, alignment erodes quickly. Any one of these gaps is enough to make execution feel heavier, even when everything appears aligned. Results show you what happened. How decisions are made and whether they stay made show you whether alignment is real. Making alignment visible means testing whether your strategic priorities translate into consistent execution across your performance ecosystem. That combination of talent, culture, customers, and product that defines how your company performs. That's the purpose of the Performance Alignment Review. It's tailored to your strategy and leadership team. It does not evaluate whether you have a strategy. It tests whether your organization behaves like it does. For example, a leadership team may agree on 3 strategic priorities. But when revenue pressure rises, sales protects the quarter, product protects the roadmap, and operations protects margin. Each decision is rational on its own. Together, they pull the company in different directions. Alignment fails not because people disagree, but because priorities stop reinforcing one another under pressure. The review makes that misalignment visible before growth amplifies it. It becomes the diagnostic foundation for the strategic alignment session. Visibility is not Stability. Seeing misalignment does not mean it's been reconciled. The strategic alignment session brings the leadership team together to resolve the internal friction, slowing execution, and stabilize alignment before growth amplifies it. Stabilizing alignment internally allows the company to absorb external volatility without destabilizing execution. This is not reflection, it is recalibration to market conditions and company realities in the